I don't think I've ever experienced this before. Never before have I seen a TV show that took such sadistic pleasure in trolling its audience, in making viewing the show absolutely excruciating, then offering a tiny glimmer of hope that the viewers might be given some kind of satisfaction for all the agony they've had to endure, only to yank it away and punch the viewers in the face for their troubles. Batwoman writers, have you ever considered that maybe the reason why your ratings are so far down the septic tank that rumors are now making the rounds about the network having serious buyer's remorse about that third season and plans to cancel your asses is that you're always giving your audience the stick when all they want is the carrot? This mean-spirited, passive-aggressive bullshit is so petty and so childish that... well, frankly, it's exactly what I expect from you people at this point. So you're really about to do this, huh? Well, leave it to this show to do it in the stupidest way imaginable. Unfortunately for you clowns, I don't work that way. Let's do this. The episode begins with both Ryan and Alice writing to Kate. One is saying she wants to save Kate today, the other is saying she's going to kill Kate today, and yet, somehow, both of these letters involve the women writing them kissing Kate's ass until their lips are chapped. You're right and noble and courageous. You made me feel brave. You helped me break the system and inspire others. That's pretty impressive in Ryan's case, seeing as how her and Kate have never f***ing met before. But I digress. Ryan wants to inject herself with adrenaline and cortisone, which should help with the pain and give her a little boost. You know, while her bone marrow is disintegrating. Mary objects, as that will only accelerate her cell decay, so if Ryan takes the shot, that's just gonna kill her faster. Instead of dying in a few days, she'll have 24 hours max. Don't listen to her, Ryan. Take the shot. But Ryan thinks 24 hours is all she needs because they're gonna follow Alice to Coriana and get the Deus Ex Machina flower to cure her. But there's a chance that might take more than 24 hours, Ryan. All the more reason to take the shot. Over at Crow's HQ, Luke shows Sophie how he's tracking Alice, and from this she figures out that he's working with Batwoman, so why isn't she tracking Alice? Luke tells her that Batwoman is dying, and that's why they need the Deus Ex Machina flower. Then Sophie gets some intel, and they have a photo of Ocean getting on a flight to Rome last night. And since Alice needed to kill Ocean to get to Safiyah, they could have a fake on their hands. Either way, if Safiyah falls for this and hands Kate over, Alice is going to kill her. If only. Back in the Batcave, everyone's watching video of Sophie and Jacob getting ready to leave. Sophie mentions that they need to bring one of those flowers back from the island, and then suddenly they get attacked by a bunch of thugs who throw them in a car and drive off with them. Luke just automatically knows that these are Safiyah's men because the writers couldn't think of a way to impart that information that actually made sense, and he knows that they're going to an airstrip, even though it's only been a few seconds and their car can't even be out of the parking lot yet. So Ryan's like, well, our last hope just went tits up, so f*** it. And she takes the shot. Luke exposits that Alice's tracker died over a tiny section of the Mediterranean, and the island itself is rigged to avoid satellite detection, but the Batsuit can detect it no problem because the Batsuit is basically magic. Also, Sophie told him that they use electric wrist restraints on the island, even though the island has no electricity, so he's giving Ryan some science grenades that will knock those out. You'd think if they didn't have electricity on the island that they'd just use normal handcuffs or rope or something. Also, if there's no electricity, how the hell do they charge the electric wrist restraints? Writers, I'm positive that no one is proofreading these scripts before you shoot them, but for God's sake, do you have to shoot your first draft every single time? It wouldn't kill you to take a second pass at it once in a while. Then Ryan starts wondering what happens if she lives and saves Kate. Then Kate would be Batwoman again, so what does that make Ryan? I mean, are there supposed to be two Batwomen? That would just be insanity. The possibility of one of them just naming themselves something else doesn't occur to Ryan because she's an idiot. Mary says Kate would never kick Ryan out. And she must be talking about a different Kate, because the bitch I had to suffer through in season 1 would absolutely do that. But they table that for another time, because right now there's a much more urgent matter to discuss. If Ryan dies, she wants Mary to take care of her potted plant. But Mary is really intimidated by the incredible responsibility of putting a plant in sunlight and watering it once a day. This she finds intimidating. But illegally practicing medicine without a license, that's a piece of cake. But Ryan doesn't take no for an answer, because this plant is very important to her because of reasons I don't care about. But enough screwing around. The clock is ticking for Ryan, so it's time to haul ass to Coriana, which she does by stowing away on a cargo plane. They have all the resources of Wayne Enterprises at their disposal, not to mention several $1 billion in Mary's bank account, and she's stowing away on a cargo plane. Because nothing else is going to make sense in this episode, so why should this? Luke has to explain to Ryan over the comms what a halo jump is and how to do one, because they didn't cover that before she got on the plane. And one might think that if Ryan was not in any way prepared to do this, that it might somehow go badly, but if that's what you're thinking, then you don't know what show this is. So over on the island, Safiyah takes a quick look at the fake ocean corpse and is totally fooled by it. She knows what Alice and Tatiana talked about, so she makes some BS excuse about how she only took their memories because she thought Alice was a bad influence on Ocean, but no one's buying that. Also, her men found the tracker on Alice, so they know she's being followed. Or she was anyway. Jacob and Sophie are waking up in a cell right now. Not tied to chairs though, so way to think outside the box, writers. Back to Ryan. She's nervous about jumping out of a plane, but she's got to do it now. Luke says that if she misses her window, she'll end up in the middle of the ocean, and there's no shark repellent on the utility belt, because that's stupid. Hey writers, see that? That right there? That's for you. That's for every single one of you. Kiss the darkest, hairiest, sweatiest part of my ass. You f***tard hacks actually had the balls to insult the Adam West Batman movie? On its best day, this incompetent, roach-ridden shitshow wishes it could be 1/10 of 1% as awesome as the Adam West Batman movie. You know why you don't have shark-repellent bat spray, writers? Because your show doesn't f***ing deserve it, that's why. Go to hell. So Ryan jumps. She drops a science grenade in the forest, which apparently has a wide enough range to kill the power on the electric cups wherever the hell they are. Back to Jacob and Sophie. Jacob wants to know why they're here, and Tatiana says that he's here because Alice wants him to watch when she kills Kate, but Sophie's here because of what Safiyah thinks she's capable of, and because she's strong and loyal and she wants Sophie to join her army. Bear in mind, at this point Safiyah has interacted with Sophie exactly one time. One time in which she watched Sophie lose a fight to Tatiana and then had a 2-minute conversation with her. And it's not like Sophie's done anything impressive since then, it's been the complete opposite actually. All that bullshit Tatiana just said is based on nothing. We all know this is gonna come down to Safiyah just wanting to f*** Sophie, because that's what it's always about on this show, so why don't you stop wasting our time and insulting our intelligence and just say Safiyah's down to scissor already? Suddenly, Sophie's electric cups power down, so she lunges at Tatiana, shoves her into a wall, Jacob grabs her, and Sophie knocks her out. Lame. Wow, it's almost as if using electric handcuffs on an island with no electricity was a really dumb idea or something. Who knew? So Ryan lands on the island, she finds the Deus Ex Machina flowers almost immediately, the comms shut down so she loses contact with Luke, then Safiyah's thugs show up and attack. Back to Alice. She wants to see Kate, but in the interest of padding the runtime, Safiyah starts psychoanalyzing Alice now. She says that deep down, Alice knows Kate is more loved than her, and she thinks that if she kills Kate, that love will then transfer from Kate to Alice. But that's pathetically absurd, and also it's not how love works, so Alice's brain tries to justify it by focusing on the Kate betrayed me thing. But what happens to those messy feelings when Kate's dead and everyone still hates you? Are you kidding me? Hate her my asshole. If Alice killed Kate, I'd throw her a fucking parade. Anyway, Alice isn't changing her mind. She says she wants to kill Kate more than the air she breathes, so Safiyah's gonna let her do it. But then the thugs drag Ryan in. I guess that disintegrating bone marrow finally caught up with her, and Ryan tells Safiyah to take a closer look at that Ocean corpse over there. So Safiyah inspects the corpse a little more carefully than not at all, and she discovers that Ocean is just an ordinary run-of-the-mill corpse wearing an ocean ass mask. Just a body the morgue wouldn't miss, admits Alice. Safiyah now thinks Alice still has feelings for Ocean because punishing her lesbian crush for having the audacity to be heterosexual was what this was really about the whole time, so she has Alice and Ryan locked up. Meanwhile, Jacob and Sophie have escaped. They're out in the forest somewhere, and Sophie admits that they need the Deus Ex Machina flower for Batwoman. She's been trying to help us find Kate, who obviously inspired her to risk her life for total strangers. What's the harm in us teaming up? Jacob says the harm is that Batwoman and the Crows have totally different ideologies. But the very idea that Batwoman isn't held accountable for her actions while the Crows are is so ludicrous even Sophie's not buying it anymore, and as much as she loves her job, she thinks it's time for the Crows to stop pretending that they're above the law. And sure, that'd be great if it happened, but I think Sophie's missing the bigger picture. Pretending you're above the law is essentially meaningless when the law barely seems to even exist in Gotham anymore and is almost never enforced by the people whose job that actually is. So while I do agree with what Sophie's saying, she doesn't exactly have a leg to stand on here. Then they smell ammonium nitrate, which can be used to make fertilizer as well as bombs, so they figure the Deus Ex Machina flowers have got to be close by. Unless Safiyah's just making a bomb or something, in which case they might be in trouble. So Alice and Ryan are locked up together and they get to talking. Ryan says that she's here to stop Alice from killing Kate, and then she coughs up some blood. And then Ryan starts psychoanalyzing Alice, because that's the kick the writers are on this week, and having other characters just spelling out how Alice is feeling is a lot easier than actually showing that to us. So on top of this Alice redemption arc floundering because the writers are incompetent, it's also floundering on account of them being incredibly lazy. Why aren't you more upset that I just screwed up your plan? Maybe you're terrified of killing your sister. Maybe you don't want to kill her, you just want her back. And BT Dubs, when you told me it wasn't your fault the other day, you weren't talking about killing my mom. You were talking about why you are the way you are. And Ryan could not possibly know any of this, but it's in the script, so she does anyway, because Batwoman is where logic and common sense go to die. Jesus H. Christ, they are actually gonna try to redeem Alice with this hypnotism bullshit, aren't they? I cannot imagine a more cheap and flimsy way to do that. You can only push a character so far in one direction before there's no way back. So when you take a character who's been as dark as Alice has been, and done all the unspeakably horrible shit that she's done, and then wave a magic fucking wand and say it was all because of fucking hypnotism, it just goes to show how the writers don't believe that actions should have consequences, and that a female character can just be let off the hook no matter how many people she's killed, because the rules don't apply to women. They can just do whatever the hell they want and get off scot-free, because what the hell else could ever happen on an ill-conceived, infantile, feminist power fantasy pretending to be a superhero show? So Ryan says Alice won't kill Kate because she's a victim of somebody too. And if she does kill her sister, then it really will be her fault. Then Safiyah comes in, and even though Alice tried to pull a fast one on her, Safiyah's gonna give her Kate anyway because f*** it. Also, Ryan did her a favor, so she gets something too. Ryan wants the Deus Ex Machina flower, and she wants Kate back alive. But Safiyah says she can have one or the other. As if dying to save Kate or saving her own life and letting Kate die a gruesome death is any fucking choice at all. And Ryan goes with the sane option and chooses the flower. So Safiyah is going to take Alice to Kate. Alice just has to fulfill her end of the deal first, and she brings in Ocean, who they found because of the search history on Alice's phone. And that this is one of the less nonsensical things in the episode speaks volumes. So Alice now has to choose between Kate and Ocean, between her sister and a heterosexual man that she has no memory of. Gee, I wonder what's gonna happen now. Back in Bruce's office, Mary is watering Ryan's plant instead of waiting for the feed to come back online. So her and Luke start arguing about the plant, because you bet your ass something that stupid is gonna be a plot point later. And then one of Safiyah's assassins just walks in the fucking door. So is there no security at all in this entire building? Doesn't Luke's day job have something to do with the security of this building? Isn't this something he should be on top of? If it were me, I would have stationed a few more guards around the place after Alice just waltzed in off the street last season. But I guess Luke didn't think of that. So bad guys brandishing huge melee weapons can just stroll in whenever the hell they want. My God, this show is stupid. But lucky for them, this assassin really sucks at her job. Luke distracts her, then curls up in the fetal position like a frightened turtle hiding in his shell, while Mary smashes a bottle over this chick's head, and just like that, it's over. She got beat so quickly and so easily, she might as well have been from the League of Assassins for crying out loud. And then, not only does Luke not immediately call security to come apprehend this woman, not only does Mary the medical student not check to see if the lifeless woman bleeding out onto the floor is still alive, but instead, Luke wants to run and hide in the Batcave like a coward, while all Mary can think about is that the assassin fell on Ryan's potted plant. Because that's the most important thing to take away from this. In any normal situation, I'd be saying that sarcastically, but believe it or not, I have to say it seriously this time. I think a piece of my soul just died a little bit. Anyway, Ocean pleads with Alice that killing him to kill Kate isn't worth it, and if she really wants to punish Kate, she should just leave her on the island to rot. But Alice tells him she's sorry, and she doesn't want to kill Kate anymore. Then she stabs Ocean with the super special magic knife. If you thought a heterosexual romance on this show would turn out any other way, you must have been watching a different show. Then the writers try to do comedy. It goes about as well as them trying to do a superhero show did. Mary pokes the assassin's body to see if she's still alive, then they try to move the body, but she moans, so they run away like scared 5-year-olds, only stopped when Julia walks in. Julia, who apparently is still a thing after the writers seem to forget she existed for almost the entire fucking season. And Julia doesn't miss a beat, just throws a knife at the assassin and kills her. And this supposedly professional assassin being defeated so pathetically easily was a lot funnier than any of the writers' actual attempts at comedy in this episode. We cut back to the island, and Tatiana has to applaud Ryan for choosing her own survival over Kate's, as if that's not what any human being on planet fucking Earth would have done in that situation. It's not like you're forcing a mother to choose which one of her kids she wants to save here, but that's not why Ryan did it. She knows Alice isn't going to kill Kate. The only way she possibly could know that is if it were in the script, but as it turns out, that's exactly what happened. Revenge, hate, and anger are the only emotions she knows, so she hides behind them, says Ryan. And Ryan knows all this based on the sum total of her interactions with Alice being about what? 5-6 minutes? But Tatiana says Ryan's right about one thing. Alice isn't going to kill her sister today. And here's where the episode gets downright cruel. Not cruel to the characters, though God knows they deserve it. I mean cruel to the audience. Safiyah takes Alice into a cell, but Kate isn't there. The only thing there is a bunch of necklaces that look identical to Kate's. Remember, Alice believed that Safiyah had Kate because Safiyah had what appeared to be Kate's necklace. You know, that basic bitch birthstone necklace that any jewelry store worth a crap could probably make a perfect replica of. That thing. Wouldn't you know it? In a swerve so shocking M. Night Shyamalan would be humbled by it, the bad guy was lying. She never even had Kate. She just wanted to f*** with Alice, so we're not going to get to watch Kate die after all. What a twist. So Alice absolutely loses her shit. You killed her! You blew up her plane! You're a monster! Safiyah denies this, but when someone tried to frame her for it, she saw an opportunity to get revenge on Alice and Ocean for being heterosexual, and God knows she couldn't pass that up. But if I'm a monster and I created you, Alice, then what does that make you, she says. And if there's one saving grace here, it's Rachel Scarston reminding us that she's a very good actress when she has the chance to be. Her talents are usually wasted on a garbage show like this, but God bless her, she comes close to elevating this scene to something halfway decent with her performance. It doesn't last long, but hey, at least one person in this situation is trying. And then we go back to Bruce's office, where Julia tells Luke and Mary that she hired a team to run down the leads they got from the tip line. They found some body parts off the coast of Bloodhaven, and the DNA was a match for Kate's. I'm so sorry, she says. Kate's dead. Again with the teasing. Those glorious words were beautiful music to my ears. I wanted to believe them more than anything in the world. This felt like seeing color for the first time after living your whole life in black and white, but there are two problems with it. Number one, no body. And number two, when one of your main characters' entire origin story heavily hinges on falsified DNA evidence, there's absolutely no reason to think this is legit, as much as I might desperately want to. Jacob and Sophie find a plane, just sitting there in the forest. The island doesn't have electricity, but they have a plane. So Jacob is going to get that working while Sophie looks for Kate. Then we're back to Tatiana, who thinks Ocean being dead will serve as a lesson for anyone who tries to betray Safiyah. Then Safiyah pulls the super special magic knife out of Ocean's corpse, and he just comes back to life like nothing's wrong. Because, you see, when the knife was molded, the metal was imbued with the Deus Ex Machina flower. And since that flower is so amazing it might as well be actual magic, it just sealed Ocean's arteries, preserved his body, and healed the stab wound the second it was pulled out. Damn. It's lucky for Ocean that he must have been only the second person to ever be stabbed with that knife. If he'd been the third person, he'd be a dead man right now. So Safiyah explains that this entire asinine dog and pony show was all to make Ocean see that Alice doesn't actually have feelings for him. And I do mean asinine, because that is bullshit of the highest order. Why would Ocean even care if Alice had feelings for him or not? You erased the memories of their relationship! He already wanted to be done with Alice! She gave him a chance to stick around in the last episode, and instead he just f***ed off! Why is her not having feelings for him supposed to mean anything to this guy? And then, in a moment that could not have felt more spoon-fed if Safiyah broke the fourth wall, stared into the camera, and spoke directly to the audience, she reveals that it was Tatiana who killed Alice's gang and sent her the note saying that Safiyah killed Kate. And why? I'll take a wild guess. She did it because Safiyah was in love with Alice. Because, as with everything else on this show about a woman who dresses up in a bat costume to fight crime, it all comes back to lesbianism. You always hated Alice and tried to drive a wedge between us, says Safiyah. That's how I knew it was you! So, she knew Tatiana tried to drive a wedge between them because Tatiana tried to drive a wedge between them? Wow, Sherlock, how'd you piece that one together? I have lost count of all the times in this episode that characters have known something they could not possibly know. Writing this lazy doesn't deserve to exist, and we're not even done yet. The laziest part of all is still to come. So Safiyah stabs Tatiana with the knife and says she'll pull it out when she decides to forgive her. Whatever. Safiyah's thugs are taking Alice away. She kills them both, then grabs a torch and burns the garden with all the Deus Ex Machina flowers, which might have meant something if they hadn't already told us that these things can literally grow and bloom in a couple hours or less if you just pour a woman's blood into the dirt. But they did tell us that. So what's the fucking problem here? Your flowers are burning? Grow some more. You already showed us that you can do it. So Safiyah's horrified by this, even though that makes no damn sense at all. Meanwhile, Sophie finds the burning garden, and from her vantage point, we can clearly see that there are many parts of the garden that are not on fire yet. So there should be many flowers that have not yet been burned up. Sophie could run over there right now and pick all the flowers she can carry, but she doesn't because the plot doesn't say so. Instead, she just gives up because everyone on this show is a goddamn idiot. And I mean everyone, because Ryan is sitting right there. She escaped her cell off screen, and even when the thing that can save her life is just a few feet away, she didn't bother walking over there and getting it either. Does that make sense? No. Do the writers care? No. Instead, she just decided to sit down and die. And sure, that's what I'd prefer all these ass clowns do, but nevertheless, we know season 3 is coming, so it's obviously not going to lead to the outcome I want. So Ryan tells Sophie that Kate was never on the island. She turns the sights in the batsuit on so Luke and Mary can see the burning flowers, which they do, and then Mary sees something amazing. And you know instantly what that something is. If you don't, just imagine the stupidest thing you can possibly think of, and you'll get it. Sophie says they need to go, but Ryan only has a few hours left, so she's given up, and she asks Sophie to sit with her so she doesn't die alone. Sophie apologizes for them getting off on the wrong foot. Because Ryan wasn't Kate, of course. They hold hands, and the writers try to make us feel sad and emotional. Fat fucking chance, assholes. And just when the tease that Ryan is about to be put out of all our miseries is sinking in, the writers do another take-back. Luke calls Sophie because Safiyah never took Sophie's phone, and on an island that's so secretive that it's hidden from detection by satellites, the phones somehow still work, and tells her to bring Batwoman back to Gotham immediately because they have the cure. And I'll be damned. The assassin's blood soaked into the dirt Ryan's plant was potted in, and the Deus Ex Machina flower is growing in there. What a load of crap. So you're telling me that the flower does not bloom exclusively on Coriana? So you're telling me after this entire fucking season has been about finding this magical bullshit island so they could get this magical bullshit flower that's so amazing Safiyah would memory wipe or kill anyone who tries to take it. So amazing it can cure cancer, cure blood diseases, save people from poison, heal fatal stab wounds instantly, and also be one of the most dangerous weapons in the world, the super awesome, fantastical Deus Ex Machina flower that's been a closely guarded secret for goddamn centuries, that the flower can actually grow fucking anywhere if you just pour a woman's blood in some fucking dirt? So basically, the thing driving the plot of the entire season was fucking pointless the whole time. Wow, I can't imagine why the CW might be thinking about canceling this show. I really can't. And then, as if that wasn't insulting enough, the final insult, the biggest slap in the face yet. We're back in Gotham. The camera zooms into the sewer and lands on some f***ed up homeless person wearing a Michael Myers mask and one of those replica necklaces. And I didn't even realize until afterward, but apparently this is Kate. Yeah. Did you think they were really gonna kill her off? Did you really think the writers would ever throw us a bone like that? Did you seriously think they'd ever not be so petty and so stubborn and so goddamn infantile that they could actually let this go? Well, think again, you poor bastards. Kate's back. Right after the episode aired, they dropped this little doozy on us. While previously the thought of recasting the role of Kate Kane was unthinkable to the producers, they've since changed their minds and have set up the return of Kate, now played by a new actress, because I guess Kate had her face burned off in a plane crash or something. So Ruby Rose is gone, but Kate is still coming back? That's like serving someone a big, delicious, juicy steak with a giant dog turd on it. We finally get the closest thing we'll likely ever get to confirmation that Ruby Rose will never return, but we can't even enjoy that much because Kate will still be there! This isn't just cruel. This is goddamn inhuman. This is the producers spitting in the faces of every single person who ever had the gall to criticize them. Oh, you didn't like Kate Kane? You don't like our new Batwoman either? Well, f*** you. You've got both of them now. Jesus Christ. It's like they're children. It's like the CW went into the deepest, darkest bowels of Tumblr, dragged out the most militant, belligerent, stubborn, petty, inflexible, asshole preteens they could find and gave them a TV show. The only silver lining is that that experiment has been working about as well as you might expect. This episode and everyone who made it. You've got characters constantly knowing things they couldn't possibly know because the writers couldn't even figure out how to tell their own story. You've got them just telling us how people are feeling instead of the characters actually showing it. You've got the Deus Ex Machina flower at the end, which completely invalidates the entire plot of trying to get to Coriana in the first place. And now, on top of everything else, they dangle the carrot of Kate finally being officially dead in front of our faces, only to rip it away from us, and now Kate's coming back. God damn it! And sure, it won't be Ruby Rose this time, but so what? The most loathsome character on television played by a different actor is still the most loathsome character on television. I guess I have to take solace in the fact that the method by which they're justifying this is that Kate had her face burned off, so at least she's been in agonizing pain since she's been gone. Couldn't happen to a more deserving character. F this show, f these writers, and f Kate Kane. That's it. This video's done. Thanks for suffering through this shit with me. The algorithm's been kicking my ass lately, so if it's not too much trouble, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed, ding the bell icon, and follow me on social media so you'll always know when I upload new stuff. The link is down there. I'll be back with more soon. Peace out.